Hi everybody, thank you for joining me today. I'm Sally from Sally Stampers, and today I'm going to show you how to make this really cute and fun little card game that I have made using the really cute Beetles and Bugs stamp set. When I saw this, I instantly thought of my nephew who loves beetles and bugs and all things slimy and just generally gross, as I'm sure most boys do. So I just thought this is going to be great to make some little games for him and some cards. And even maybe some wrapping paper and stuff like that. So I knew what I wanted to do with it as soon as I saw it, and this is what I wanted to do. So it's basically a little card game which you can make to suit any age and to suit any game that you want. This one is simply a recognised number type game. So as you can see, it basically has the numbers that I've cut out using the large number framelets. I've stuck those on. These are all with the Emerald Envy. So I stamped the numbers faintly in the background, so stamped off once and then stamped them on the card. I've only done up to number 8, but obviously you can do as many as you like. And then on the back I have just the images that I've just stamped and coloured in here. And then obviously I've just made a cute little box to keep them in. And this box is just such a cute little size that it's ideal to keep in a travel bag or in a door pocket, just so that you've got it to hand if you're going somewhere and you just need something to amuse your child with for a bit. I've obviously just decorated the front quite simply, but if you wanted to, you could add a little panel that said cards or snap or whatever you wanted to put on the front and whatever you wanted to put inside your box. So if you've been watching or been paying attention to my Instagram, you will notice that I've made mention to these bugs and the one sheet wonder and all these sorts of things for the last week or so. And this obviously is what I've made with it. So as you can see, I've just got a basic white sheet of Whisper White cardstock, just the normal UK A4 size that I have just stamped with basic black, the basic images of the stamps. So, you know, I've not sort of gone into the details here, but it's just the basic images that I've used and stamped, and I've coloured those in with the many marvellous markers, which I had great fun in doing and felt like a child for an evening while I was sat stamping away and colouring them. It was really, really fun. So that's that bit. Before I go on to that though, I want to show you the other cards that I've made. Obviously I've gone ahead and made these a little bit early because I just thought that it would take me forever to show you how I made and did all of this. So I've very simply got, this one is sort of a snap or another counting game. I've again only made a few here, but you can make as many as you wanted, different colours or different numbers. But I've just gone for the 1, 3, 5 and 8. So it was just random numbers and just what I went with. But I did actually colour these with the two-part stamping technique. So with this one, where is he? Just there. I just used the Emerald Envy and used the infill. Likewise with the moth, I used the 3 parts there of the wings, the beetle, the 2 parts at the top, and obviously the little ladybird, which just has the 1 little dot. So I just went ahead and did those. And just so that you have an idea of the measurements, I cut my Whisper White pieces, which are these and which I will be cutting this down to, which are 2.5 by 4. And obviously I've used the Project Life corner punch here just to round the corners, just so that they're not sharp. If they are for children, you don't want them catching themselves on the sharp points of card. So that's the measurement for that one. And then the Emerald Envy, which is the layer underneath, is 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. You don't need to add backing to them. You could just leave them like this. It's quite a nice design just with them blank. But obviously I just thought that it will add thickness, especially if children are playing with them. In effect, you're going to have 3 bits of card adhered to them. So I'm just going to go ahead now and show you how to cut them out of your one sheet wonder. So I am aware that when I first tried to film this, I actually realised that I'd forgotten how I'd laid the pieces out so that I could get 8 out of one sheet. So I stopped the video and started again, but I did a little image. The downside to this image is that I actually measured them at 2 3/4 and not 2 1/2, so you will actually have a strip left over all the way across the bottom. So with this as a bit of a guide, we'll start with our lengthways. So we're going to do 6 from this length, which are going to be 4 inches long. So we're going to get it up to the 4 and cut that one, and then up to the 4 again and cut that one. So as this bit left over here now is going to be 2 long ways, these need to be 2 1/2. So before I do any more, I'm going to get it to 2 1/2 and trim it. Okay, now I'm going to spin this one round sideways now, and obviously we're going to get the 4 inches. You will have a few scrappy bits left over, but don't worry. So there's 2, and then with this one, so we already have them at the right length, so we just need to now be doing them at 2 1/2. So that's 1, 2, oops, nearly, 3, and then the same again, 1, 2, 3. And so there you have, not that much waste left over, but you obviously have now your 6 cards. So now you need to go along and round all your corners. Now obviously this is something that you will take much more time doing, but obviously I've got all these to do, so I'll do them as quick as I can. Like I said, the only the only thing that I didn't on this one, when I said that I used the sort of the 2-step technique, if you like, I actually, the only thing that I did use the marker for is just these flies, and I don't know if you can see, I just used the Soft Sky just to add a small hint of blue to his wings, just really to make him stand out a little better. And as you can see now, the time it's taken me to do this, if I'd have done all of the cards and all of the green bits, it would have taken ages and you'd have got bored with me. So I just stick doing these ones. And I do apologise if my tummy rumbles. It's getting quite close to lunchtime, and I desperately wanted to get my videos done so that I could upload them while I'm eating my lunch. So I do apologise. If it's not the dogs or a lorry going past, it'll be my stomach. So I do apologise. Okay, so down to the last bit. Okay, so there we have all of our corners rounded, and now all we need to do is to stick them on the back. So just grabbing my fast fuse again, because it's with children, and I just think that it's a little sturdier, and we're literally just going to put them on. Whoops. Line it up. Job done. And obviously, because the bugs, when you stamp them on, because they're facing all different ways, it generally doesn't really matter which way you stick this on, because who says it's a right or a wrong way? And I guess the fun part as well is that you could even get the kids to help make them. That would be just as much fun. Get them to stamp the images and to colour them in. Maybe you could do the cutting so that you get them the right sizes. But I'm sure they would have a blast colouring these in. I know I did. My kids are just at that age, with them being teenagers and in their early 20s. They're really not interested in any of this anymore, which is a shame, because I'd have loved to have shared all of this with them. My daughter's quite creative, so I think she would have really enjoyed doing these with me. But hey ho, maybe I have to wait till I have grandchildren. I'm hoping that's not too soon. Okay, so just as you can see, just a couple of strips of the fast fuse there, and I just stick them on the back, and those are my cards completed. Like I said, I think they're really cute, and as I say, because there's three bits of card there, they are really quite sturdy, which is ideal. So those are my cards made. So now I need to make my box. So you will need 2 pieces of cardstock. I've used Emerald Envy again just because it's in keeping with my cards. And the cardstock that you'll need 2 pieces, the same 5 3/4 by 4 inches. So I'm just going to grab my scoring tool, my Simply Scored. You know, this is still covered with glitter from Christmas. It's ridiculous. Okay, so I'm going to do the base first, and so we're just going to score at 1/2 inch on all the 4 sides. I always find this small score just a little bit fiddly of where to hold your card and stuff, but we get there. Okay, so that's my base done. I'm going to come in and do my lid, but before I do any more, I'm going to use the base before I fold it as my shim. And then we just butt that up and score the lid at the 1/2 inch mark again on all sides with that little wedge. Oops. With that little wedge just in place. It's because of the thickness of the base of the card, the base of the box rather. If you try and make 2 boxes the same, it's quite evident that they're just going to sit on top of each other, so you need to have some thickness to separate that. Okay, so I've kept this in my left hand to remember that this is my base, so I'm going to put the lid to one side so they don't get mixed up. So as you see, we've just done all of that, and we'll just literally fold and burnish all of the score lines. And then with just my paper snips, and it doesn't really matter which way around you do this, we'll just cut the corners and cut some little wedges. I keep checking to see if it's snowing. We actually had a little bit of snow this morning. Nothing too heavy, nothing that stuck to the ground, but there was just a bit of it. But it seems to have gone, and the sky is just, well, the sky is just a bit grey and dreary now. Okay, so those are my wedges. And I'm actually just going to use some glue dots to hold this one together. I did use tear and tape on this one. It doesn't really matter which one you use. I'm going to use glue dots just because I find them a little bit quicker than me trying to fight with the tear and tape today. So I'm sticking, as you can see, I'm just putting a couple of glue dots on all of the 4 tabs. Oops. And just one more. Get rid of that. Okay. And then we're just going to fold our box up, as we always do. These are a little bit fiddly when they're so small, but they do the trick. Okay, and give them some real good pressing. Get that glue dot sticking. And we just pop our cards inside. There is a little bit of wiggle room, but that's not a problem. Okay, so the lid. Now before I do any more to the lid, I want to put a little panel on, just like this one. It's the same size as the Whisper White I used on the cards, so that's 2.5 by 4 inches. I've rounded the corners ready. I'm just going to do some stamping. So I've got my Beetles and Bugs here, and you will notice, I'm hoping you can see, let's use this, but if you can see, it tells you which bit goes with which one. So bear with me 2 seconds. Sorry about that. That's typical. You switch your mobiles off and then the landline goes. Do apologise. Right. So yes, it'll tell you. So for example, this one here, it says on it 3A, 3B, 3C. So you can coordinate with that. But alternatively, when they did the front of the box, they put the images that go with each bug next to each one. So if you're not sure, you can always just have a look at the lid. So I'm going to grab my basic black and I'm just going to grab my C block because I don't really need anything different, to be honest. So somebody's not going to give up, are they? Right, door's shut now. I'm going to ignore it if it continues. Okay, so yeah, so I've got my C block, my basic black, and I'm literally just, and I've actually got my Stampin' scrub off to the side here, so I can just stamp him, get rid of him. Let's have the moth, and just give him a stamp. Whoops! Good job that went on the underside of it. And we have the little beetle. So we'll just have a couple of beetles. And then the little ant is my favourite because he just seems to fill in so many spaces. You just think, oh, I've got a bit of a gap there. Let's fill him in with a little ant. Okay, so that's the ant done. And I'm just looking for the fly. There he is at the bottom. So I'm just going to stamp a couple of flies. And then, oops, where's she gone? My favourite, as you can tell from the coloured on the thing. A couple of ladybirds, and last but not least, let's have this little green bug type thing here. There we go, that will do. Okay, let's get rid of that. And I'm just going to now go and show you how to use the insides, if you like, to give them a colour. So obviously we've got him here, and this is his two-step, if you like, which we're going to do in Emerald Envy. And this is really just to show you how simple it is. And they literally, excuse my head if it pops in while I try and line this up. Perfect. All inside the lines, completely fits in. So that's that one. Then we'll have the little blob for the ladybird, and in comes my real red. And so we're just gonna give those a little bit of colour. Oops, I got that all over my block. So let's just take that one off, get rid of that, and just give my block a little wipe because I don't want that ink going all over my hands and then everywhere else. Okay, so that's that one. So the next one I'm getting is my Tip Top Taupe, and this is for the moth. So this bit is for his head and upper body. Then we have this bit to pattern the outer wings, and I think that is a real effective pattern. I think it looks really good. And then this one does the inside wings, and then I'm going to grab my, oops, let's put this one away. That telephone has completely flustered me now. There was no way I was stopping and doing all this again. So perfect plum for my little beetle. So I'm using the complete colour, if you like, just to stamp on him. Not literally stamp on him, stamp the colour on him there. And then the next step is these little stripes, which I am using my rich raspberry just to give him his lines. Oops, that was a bit wonky, never mind. And then, as I mentioned, I've just got my soft sky marker here, and I'm just literally giving Mr. Fly wings some colour. And then finally, don't seem to see his, there it is. One more little bit of colour there, and I'm just going to go with some Old Olive just to finish that one. And there we go. So that's how simple it is to just colour them in using the bits that you're supplied with. As I say, I think they are real fun, and it would be great to see what different colour combinations and styles the kids could come up with. So this is for my lid now, so I'm just going to get some fast fuse and stick this on before we do any more, because it's obviously going to be harder once the lid's built. So just stick that one on. Oops, be careful as well, because it can smudge if you're not too careful. So that's in place. We'll just simply make the lid up as we did with the base, just folding those sides in, cutting our wedges just the same as before. Just on all four corners. Oops, come here, thank you. And this last bit. And again, in with the glue dots. I'm only popping one on this one, but as I say, if you want to use your tear and tape or add a couple, then feel free. But I just think that the lid only needs one really at this time. And then, as I've done with my previous boxes, I make one of the ends up. Oops, just like that. And then I put it on my box, stand it up, fold my sides in, I fold my tabs in, and then put the top down. And there we have it. 2 cute boxes with different card games inside, but made the same way. And as I say, you can make them and fill them with whatever card games your child likes, whether it be learning, or you could even do an alphabet one, a colours one, you could add anything. I hope you've enjoyed my tutorial, and I hope that your children or grandchildren or nieces or nephews or whoever have some real fun playing with some of these card games. I hope to see you again soon. Bye!